Yeah, hi, welcome to something new, which is Pokemon, actually, which a lot of my subscribers don't know about that I play, but I'm not just into racing games. I used to be in a league called the CBA, which stands for the Competitive Battling Association. However, we have rebranded to the Hive, which has now got 3 leagues within it, and I am in the top league, which is the Beedrill League. And I guess that this video is going to say what went on in my brain when I was picking these picks. I'm also very bad at commentating, so stay around for the very beautiful pictures. Going into the draft, I planned to get Thunderous Incarnate because it did really well last season, and it's something which I think I could work well with. But obviously, being 11th in the draft pick, it didn't happen. So instead, I got something which I've used before quite well, which was Mega Altaria. It's all round, it can do pretty much anything. Nothing amazingly, but it does everything. And my whole point of this draft was to get bulky offense and pretty much everything defensive to have reliable recovery, which Altaria obviously does. Second, I drafted Hippowdon, which is good for physical defense. My first pick actually was going to be Dragonite, however, because I knew that I wanted to get Hippo, it was kind of really counter synergistic, so I kind of just didn't. I never planned for this to be a weather team, but Hippo is just so good by itself defensively that I just wanted it. Obviously it can do stuff like Curse, even go Assault Vest, but it mainly wants to just set up rocks and get decent damage off while taking the physical hits. The third pick was a lot harder because I was thinking between Reuniclus or Slowbro. In the end I chose Reuniclus because even though Slowbro helps with my ice weakness, Reuniclus is going to help with Toxic, because my team is so bulky, a lot of teams will want to be bringing Toxic against me, and Reuniclus is better, I guess, with Calm Minding and Sweeping if you want. Plus how Hippowdon is physically defensive, Reuniclus is especially defensive, and that will just help out a lot more as well. Next, I was going to go with Serena, but I was in a chat and we all agreed that Shaman, which is my next pick, is just better at everything apart from Rapid Spin and U-Turn. So I got Shaman, which in hindsight may not have been the best choice, but we'll see. Next up is Cobalion, which I always thought was pretty underrated in League. It's got Calm Mind, it can Sword Stance, it's got a very good speed tier, very good defense, and overall I think it's going to be very good. It's also got a lot of coverage, so that means with the Z moves I can use anything I want pretty much, which is always going to be helpful. Next up, I was thinking Crobat, but I knew that it was going to get sniped, so I was looking in the tiers what could do a similar role, and then I came across Aerodactyl. It's got similar defenses, it's got better offenses, and it's actually got rocks as well, which is always good. It's got a worse typing for what its role is, but I think for 40 less points it's definitely worth it. After Aerodactyl, I was thinking to myself that I wanted Volcanion because I lack a wall breaker. So, but it was a bit too expensive for my liking in 1B. So in the end I chose Chandelure instead, because I've always thought it was pretty good, and Ghost Offense is one of the best in the game. And obviously Ghosts help with getting rid of Rapid Spin of the opponent. Not that I have too many Rockers and Spikers. Now the next thing I chose was Azumarill, which I've used before, and it's a very good wall breaker. Like there's very little things that want to come in on a Choice Banded attack, or even Belly Drum if you can get it off. There's also the fact that my only other fairy is weak to Dragon before it Mega Evolves, and if I don't get that off in the game, I cannot switch as fairy in. And due to the fact that I've got 2 fairy types and Reuniclus, steel types are a bit to me, so I want to get rid of them. I had quite a few points left, so I decided to go with Magnezone. I was going to get Magneton because it's cheaper, but I think Magnezone will be a very good choice because it's a bit more bulky and it just helps with the draft overall, and can use more, it can use an Assault Vest as well, and not just a Violite or Choice Item. Now getting into the final couple of picks. My first one, because I had Sand, I decided to go with Statland. I never really wanted to use Sand Rush, but it's a normal type with decent defences and can use Sand Rush if it needs to. And now this final pick was the hardest by far. I was going to either go Omastar, which can set up spikes, which I haven't got any of, or I was going to go Sandslash, which can spin, because I've only got Aerodactyl as hazard control. In the end, I went with Omastar, because I checked the first few games that I play, and they have very unreliable rockers. And I think I can pick up a spinner in a couple of weeks after, when the free agents open, to help me out with that. Plus, because I've got so many ice weaknesses, Omastar can take advantage of that, because obviously it's resisted and not a lot of things get grass coverage to kill it. Now looking at the overall team, I'm missing a dark type, which is kind of bad, but it could be worse. I'm also missing spikes and toxic spikes other than Omastar, and Defog / Rapid Spin, but I think I'll be alright for the first few weeks, and then I can change it when it happens. Overall, I really like my team, and I'll see you next week versus Danny.